Hello, Bigfoot enthusiasts. This is Scott here from Blue Mountain Bigfoot Research, and these are our top 5 finds of the 2010 decade. Stay tuned. Well, in the last 10 years, the team and I have been all over the map here in the Pacific Northwest, and we've came up with some pretty interesting finds here and there. Some of them iffy, some of them pretty credible. So we'll start here. Here's number 1. The footprint in the swamp. Now, I have to tell you, this one was found in the northern part of the Blue Mountains here in Oregon. And it's not too far from this place where you heard this dude say,
"Oh, there you go."
Now this one is quite interesting. It was 14 inches long, 4 inches wide, and we found it in the swampy area underneath a power line. We often follow power lines and into swampy areas because that's where you find footprints, because power lines going through the forest is kind of like a freeway, and deer use them, so it's kind of a lunch buffet for Bigfoot. But the interesting thing about this one is the toes actually slid into the mud, and so you can see where the toes slid forward to create the print. Unfortunately, I didn't have any casting material with me at the time. That's right, yeah, I didn't. But it took me a week to get back to this spot with the casting material, and unfortunately at that time grass had grown up through it and had ruined the print. So word to the wise, keep casting material in your backpack. I do now. Number 2, the trackway in the lake bed. Now this one's an interesting case. We had several, like 10 footprints along this winding creek bed that was in this dried up lake bed. This lake's high up in the mountains. It's almost 7,000 feet, and during the late summer it kind of dries up, but there's the spring that feeds it, leaves this little windy creek through the middle of it, and this is where we found the footprints. But shocker, the footprints aren't what number 2 really is. Okay, so the footprints were very interesting to me, but I first thought that, yeah, they're pretty much human because they're 9 inches long, and they had very narrow toes and a very, what we call a Egyptian toe slant to them. And later on, I showed one of the casts to Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and he definitely said that the little toe was turned in, and it looked like they were wearing shoes. But what kind of confused me at first is some of the footprints are next to bear prints in the mud, and they were like 8 or 9 inches deep. But the bear print was only, less than a quarter of an inch deep. But you know what? The bear could have stepped there after the ground had dried out quite a bit. So what really happened here in number 2. Number 2.1, the knock at the lake bed. While we were casting these prints and waiting for the casting to dry, I was flying my drone around to survey the area and get some B-roll shots, and we heard this knock come from this forest. So I buzzed the area real quick and scanned everywhere, and I didn't see anything at all through the little screen on my controller. But later on, I was looking through the video footage and trying to pick stuff out, and the only thing I found was this little shadow, but it doesn't really prove anything. But this is what we heard. And number 3, the rock in the night. Now, we were back up in the toll gate area for this one, and we had spent the day scoping ridge lines out, looking through the thermals, venturing around the area looking for footprints and things on some really steep, rugged terrain. And We found some interesting dead bones and things like that. But what really got interesting is when we were waiting for it to get dark. Now, we had sat around a campfire for a while. We started a campfire, ate our dinner, was waiting for it to get dark so we could go out and do some night investigations. And what happened was Pete had to go to the bathroom. So he gets up, walks away from the campfire, goes off into the woods, and a few minutes later I hear him come rushing back, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, I just had a rock thrown at me." So we spent some time doing some whoops, doing some tree knocks and checking out that area in the dark, but alas, nothing else happened. So I don't have any video of the rock being thrown at him, but I trust Pete. Number 4, the Hillside Trackway. Now, this takes place near our hometown of Baker City, Oregon, up in the Blue Mountains in the Willow-Whitman National Forest. And what happened, we were hiking along this logging trail, which has been cut off from vehicular travel. And lo and behold, we come across a muddy bank going up the side of the hill where we found 3 16-inch footprints and 1 9-inch footprint on the side of this hill. So I have a video explaining all this. I'll link that above. Number 5, the face of Bigfoot. This one takes place about the same area as number 4. In fact, it's only like maybe a mile away. And we were hiking along the trail. We smelt the smell, heard a grunt, and took a picture. And this is what we found. So that is Blue Mountain Bigfoot Research's top 5 finds of the 2010s. And we're hoping our 2020s will be even better. As always, please like and subscribe and keep on squatching. Hope to see you out there. Thanks. Bye.